Good morning everyone and welcome to our BearingPoint talk here in our Design Thinking Center in the BearingPoint office, Berlin. I'm Stefan Pecharczyk, partner in our technology practice. Today we host a Germany-Israel technology event and a warm welcome to David, he makes it possible. David, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm so excited to come to here again to Berlin. Always great to come to you. Enjoy your amazing new offices here for BearingPoint. I'm the CEO and the founder of MIW. MIW is a group that already started the activity since 2000. We tried successfully to be the home for the Israeli startup companies, for the Israel community. We have today more than 500 active startups in our portfolio as clients. We have thousands of startup companies that follow us and looking for what we are doing, the territories that we work in, and hope to continue with that.
Oh, many thanks for being here. So a warm welcome also to Christoph, our IT M&A expert. Christoph, could you introduce yourself too?
Yeah, I'm working 20 years with BearingPoint and I'm heading the Center of Excellence for IT M&A Advisory. So we are doing 40 to 50 tech due diligence for private equities and strategic buyers, and also offering services as IT carve-outs or IT integration for mid-sized firms or big corporates.
Okay, thanks Christoph. David, we in Europe hear a lot about the startup scene in Israel. Please introduce the scene, why they are so successful.
It is a question that I'm asking myself again and again, because I'm traveling so much. We try to do our activities all over, in Singapore, in China, in Sao Paulo, Rio, and all over Europe, even East Europe, Russia, Bulgaria, and the US. And I must say, for that, not because I'm coming from Israel, we have a lot of problems, a lot of things that we have around, but in the startup, in the technology sector, it's something that you cannot see in any place worldwide. If I'm thinking about a good example, and I said it last time we've been here, that's why now I kind of flashback, but it's like in Sao Paulo, in Rio, you see the kids that playing with the football. Here in Israel, you see so much activity. You can be entrepreneur 8 years old that doing his new startups, and you will see here, you just saw here someone that is not exactly 25 years old, but is doing his new startup. And you can see kids that just finished the 3 years of army and doing their new startup. They know to take risks. You have more than any other country in the world, if you equivalent the population and the numbers. So you have much more than any other territory numbers of startup companies, okay? In equivalent to the population. So it's amazing.
Okay, but any challenges? Which challenges does the startup scene face in Israel?
A lot. First of all, what is the reason? I think that one of the reason, and this is also the challenge is that there is no market for Israeli companies. It's not exist. You have Israel, which is only 8 million people, including the very Orthodox, which is around 1.5, I think, which is not market. You have the neighbors, okay? The neighbors are hostility population. It's all the Arab world around and the beach. You don't have, you cannot take your car and sell your products in France, in London, nothing. So the first market for you, you have to take the flight here to Berlin. This is the closest market to the Israeli companies.
Oh, it's a great market.
Yes, but still very expensive.
Yeah.
So the challenge is how to get into the market. The reason that you must need the technology is that you can sell technology with no limits, not products. So maybe this is one of the reasons. When you develop technology, you can you're equivalent to someone that sits here in Berlin. When you are selling cars, you are not the same. You have to sell it in very expensive of the process around. I'm just thinking, okay?
Okay. And what's military's role to build up a startup-friendly environment?
So
we hear a
much.
lot about.
So much, a lot, because I think again, it's we just trying to think. But so the army, you have high-level, sophisticated guys like you, like me, that go into the army. It's not like in the US or in Germany that the low population basically go into the army. The high level of the population, low level of the population cannot get into the army. Okay. Now, in the army, you have all the units that have to be in the age that you are so enthusiastic with ideology, that have to fight threats on the civilians. Tel Aviv is like Berlin. Just the difference is that in Tel Aviv, once in a few years, you can have a missile attack, and here it's not, it will never be here. So it's something that the young people with the brains can work 24/7. They have the budgets from Israel, from the Americans, from everywhere, okay? Because everyone wants to see the real time trying to see how it can fit that threats. Now it's in Israel, tomorrow it can be on the US and even here. So they work in small groups. Young people, they know to work together, they know to work in the nights 24/7. They know. Now they finish the army and now they are ready to go with startup. They are not only university guys. Now they also know much more. They tougher. They smarter to work with the groups. The leaders.
Interesting role. Let's talk about trends. What do you see for specific trends and tech capabilities in the Israel startup?
I'm not sure, but one trend that will always stay is the cybersecurity and IT security, just because it's kind of brand name in Israel. So it's and also you have the special units again in the army. So in the cybersecurity, it's always one good trend. IoT now is coming very fast. A lot of new companies in that field, and AI. So much companies also in the vehicles. Israeli startups will not compete Germany industry in developing the new car or on the next. But they can assist and can be part, and they are part of when we are talking about the inside. Not nuances, gadgets and for the car, and new technology for the automatic car and electronic cars and autonomous vehicles, and so we have some good success in that. That's plus minus what I can see as trends.
Okay, great. And Christoph, what's your point regarding new technologies? Do you see that similar?
So of course the overarching trend is digitalization of products and processes, and of course with a mobile component, and not only in the B2C space but also in the B2B space. And in the last 2 years we've seen our tech due diligence a strong rise in not so much AI but machine learning. So in various use cases, so it's social media risk management, it's fintech, it's connected cars, also David, what you just mentioned. So that is like really now a hot topic, and of course cybersecurity as a very important trend.
Where Israelis are famous for.
Yeah, with a very strong track record here, and then we also see technology trends for tech businesses, like how to get their tech stack right. So the importance of a SaaS model, to deliver the products to the clients. Then the delivery platform is now like mainly in a public cloud. The architecture that has been chosen is based on microservice or REST APIs and DevOps with Dockerization or Kubernetes. That is all standard now, like for the leading and advanced tech firms, and they're using agile processes to develop the software, and Jira as a standard tool. So I think that goes quite in line with the trends you mentioned from Israel.
Okay.
And Christoph, from a European point of view, so different investors prefer different targets. VCs and startups versus PEs and established enterprises. What do PEs like compared to VCs?
So the VCs are mainly interested in the startups. So the private equities are already interested in more established business. So like for pure tech companies, the revenue would be around 15 to 25 million euro turnover.
Okay.
Or for non-IT driven firms, it's 50 to 500 million euro turnover. So that is much more established business. Also, they really want to scale then big time into new clients, regions and products. And they want a critical mass of people and some certain maturity level of processes. So sometimes when I have tech due diligence with tech firms evolving, I feel a bit sorry for them because then they are confronted with much higher requirements regarding data privacy or FOSS, that is free and open source code compliance. So they have to step up to make them this next step to evolve as a firm. And in short, again, the private equities, they love platform businesses. So asset-light businesses which are easy to scale, and that is what tech businesses are all about. Yeah? The good thing is the private equities have a lot of knowledge how to bring the right know-how and the right people and skills to scale a firm really big time. Yeah?
Okay, thanks, Christoph. So, David, why do you present these interesting startups today in Europe and today in Berlin?
I think that Berlin is the heart of, or Germany basically is out of the European economy, and it just will be bigger and bigger. That's what I think. Berlin is the heart of Germany. Berlin is unique, but Berlin is more easy for us to work in, to understand it. It's a little bit, if I can put in equivalent to the US, like San Francisco and New York. So Berlin is the New York of Germany. It's very convenient to work here. We understand the language, not the Germany, but how the nuances of if you want to do business. What if you say yes? It's sometimes it basically is yes. If not, no. Things that you are not very familiar when you are trying to work in the US and in other territory. Germany, I must say, is very similar work attitude like in Israel. Very, very friendly for us.
Okay, and what's your opinion about the Berlin startup scene? Do you have any relationships?
I think yes, I have some relationships. I think that the Berlin startup is something that they're growing very fast. They are starting. So it's from my point of view. If I'm talking about 7-8 years ago, when we came first to Berlin, we have done some totally different kind of events. We try to be connected to the telecoms, to the distributors, not for the investment. Now today is the most target for us is to be more connected to the VC community, but I did not see so much traction as today. It looks for me like it's very warm here.
Okay.
When you are talking about the startup scan, and you have new technology incubators and accelerators, looks very exciting.
And from an Israeli point of view, could you share one success story for a startup which is in your environment?
In Germany?
No, for your Israeli startup.
I can, we have so much. If you are talking about Mobileye, I'm not part of that, but Mobileye just has in autonomous vehicles, they are working in this field. They raised about, have done a small exit of, I think, I'm not remembering exactly the figure, is $7 or $12 billion, okay? But out of that, last year, on 2017, you had each day 2 companies, startup companies, raised real money out of more than $1 million, and the total exits, if you are not talking about Mobileye, with the event, is an average between $7 to $8 billion each year in the last few years.
Oh, great.
So, okay. We're working in some of our companies in the cybersecurity, in the IT security. We took, if you are talking about success story, just it's something interesting. We took 10 companies, startup companies, combined with another question of you about the government. Okay, not the government, about all the industry in Israel, how it works, why it's successful. The government, I must say, in that They're doing nice, about 4% of the GDP is for the investment in startups. There was a program, take 10 companies, okay? Together, startup companies, try to build them a common activity worldwide, okay? And to the ones that will win that with the application will get a grant, okay? We got a grant, not very big one, about $50,000, $1.5 million for 3 years to activate the companies. 7 companies out of 10 did have all exits or significant investments, means $5 million and more. 7 out of 10. It's including white box security and Interlinks and SafeEnd, and it was amazing. Companies that were in the very beginning, talking about 6, 7. Anyway, companies. It was 3 years of program. We built them a common office in UK. We took each for together companies that, okay, with this entity, with this activity, we can bring value to all these 10 companies together. And it worked together. They thought together, they worked together, they compete together, they share the resources to go to the market.
Wow, impressive, great.
Okay.
Impressive. Christoph, what will be your suggestion for our Israel startups today?
I think Israel startups have a great reputation for tech and for security space related products. So, and we've seen already a lot of them being acquired by private equities or other tech firms, or they improved impressively, as you just mentioned. So my suggestion is always like they have to laser focus on the things they're really good at, have a clear value proposition and get the tech stack right, like as I just mentioned in these trends, and have a clear roadmap where they also embrace the latest tech trends. As one fintech firm we looked here in Berlin at, they said money is coming to town. So Berlin is really now a good place to be here. It's a vivid spot, and investors and firms coming together, and they're building a strong ecosystem. I think that is what the startups really need, and so it's great for Israeli firms to come and present them on an international basis. And so we hope you come soon again to our next Israeli startup event here in our Berlin BearingPoint office.
Thank you.
And finally, one final question, David. What's your expectation for the event?
My expectations are more from our end of MIW. I want my team to listen, to follow up, to understand the nuances, what the German players here in the high-tech community, what they are looking for, what we can bring into the table that they will say, okay, wow, this is good. So I think that the willingness from here from Berlin exists. Now our role is to continue that into a real good working together, because it makes sense. It makes sense. Berlin can be a real competition to New York. Just they are very like a city in Israel. It's only 3.5 hours flight. The same time zone. I can take the flight, I can come back and continue. When I come back from New York, it's each time it's to relax for 3 days. It's totally different. So I think there is really good chance that we can bring good value to both industries.
So we wish you much success for you and your startups.
Yes.
So David, Christoph, many thanks for being here. Thanks for a lot for your thoughts and insights. Thanks to our listeners. To see short videos with the presented startups, please visit our BearingPoint website. That was BearingPoint Talks. We wish you a nice time. See you again. Many thanks. Bye-bye.